women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
It's what?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
What?
I said Malcolm alleged that some of Elijah's women were underage secretaries, and can you expound on that?
Yeah, well, I guess they were, because they were there. I seen them. I seen them myself. It's all true. It's all true.
Good evening, messenger. You convinced us that you were the last messenger. How many other bastard children do you have?
How many? How many? Keno, what it do? What it do? K-Dub, Birdman. Appreciate y'all coming to D-Rock. KB, I'm about to repost what you put, man. Appreciate you, dog. Birdman, Yova, I appreciate y'all, man. Hey, nah, Spence ain't signed. They working on it, man. They working on it. And before we get started with the show, without further ado, I'm tight. Why am I so tight today? Why my camera so tight? It's usually longer. That's interesting. I don't know how and don't know why my camera's so tight. What's up, Jerry? And without further ado, we got the star of the week, student of the month, the best little sister, big sister I know, Kennedy, Lenny Jean Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne. Kennedy, Lenny Jean Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Curtsy, curtsy. Coming next to the stage. The award-winning, the most renowned student of the month 4 times. Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. I want to sing. Listen. Y'all great. You did great. Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, ladies and gentlemen. Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, and give it up for Kennedy, Lenny Jean Hawthorne, and Lincoln Curtis Gerald Hawthorne, Team Hawthorne. I'm proud of y'all. Give yourselves a hug. No, it's already turned. Give yourself a hug. And why am I so tight? I don't know, but it's okay. It's okay. I ain't never been this tight before. Love y'all. Good night. And Lincoln. Leave the door open. Lincoln. Love you, dog. Fred crying in the back. Yo, Lincoln, other way. Yeah. And Fred crying in the back. And I'm always crying. You know, when it comes to your kids, man, you get emotional about dropping them off at school, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, man, Pretty interesting day today in boxing, man. Benn, he cheated. Benn is a cheater. Cheater. Fred don't like cheaters, man. You know, Fred ain't never took a drink, probably took 3 Tylenols in his life. You know what I mean? And he's a cheater, man. Benn is a straight cheater, and they knew about it. Everybody knew about it. You have Benn, his dad. What's his name? Benn, Eubank, and his dad, Eddie Hearn. Everybody knew about the cheater. Everybody knew he was a cheater. And we sit back and allow this to happen, man. Hey, ain't no honor amongst thieves, y'all. There is no honor amongst thieves. And he is a bona fide certified cheater. I saw Boxing Ego post a picture. Shout out to Boxing Ego. He posted a picture of what Benn used to look like. Hey, I am tight as hell. Yo, I ain't been this tight in so long. I guess when you change it to 720, does that make me big? Oh, yeah. So now I know how to go tighter now. I put it on 480. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just, they're cheaters, y'all. They're just, and it's no black eye for boxing. It just tells us what's really going on in the sport. How all these guys. Oh yeah, I don't remember that, but I'm gonna take your word for it, Birdman. You're not a liar. We consider you a resident of the shop. You gonna tell the truth, and it's awful, man. It's awful, man. That to the outside people looking in, like, oh, they don't really care. They just want to see 2 blood, guts, and glory. But for the people that are inside the sport that buy the tickets to the fight, it's like, damn, these people really sincerely cheat. And I think that people who do steroids, y'all, they should be brought up on charges. It should be assault with a deadly weapon, assault with the intent to kill, assault with the intent to do bodily harm. Something needs to be brought. I can't wait for the day a boxer goes to jail for willfully using steroids and stepping into the ring. You know what I mean? I think that's the reality of it. And I can't wait for that. I literally can't wait. And that goes to show you everyone is dishonest, y'all. I say this all the time. Eddie Hearn is dishonest. He knew that this fight would have brought him a lot of money. They probably sold out the O2 Arena. They probably had a good deal on the pay-per-views, and they still trying to make this fight go away, you know. And I mean, trying to make this fight move forward. So you guys got to understand the realities of this thing. Everyone has their favorite promoter, you know, and this is 2022. So we should be more woke now than we were in 2016, 2015, when the YouTube atmosphere had just waking up, 2012 and 13. Now we should be really woke and really intelligent because we are consuming this boxing information every day. I'm here 5 nights a week, and many of you are, and I say thank you. Eddie Hearn's a cheater. Bob Arum's a cheater. Oscar De La Hoya is a cheater. Al Heyman is a cheater. And this is just confirmation. Confirmation, y'all. That we need to be worried about our pockets and the best fighting the best. We need to throw away, oh, that guy lost. Oh, he lost. No, I really want to see these guys get back in the mix. You go back to number 11. You got to win 2 fights. And once you win your second fight, you get another chance at the belt. It's really that simple, man. And with our money and with our collective influence, I'm talking about all of media. We just want the best fighting the best. In 2022, we don't care about the size of the streets. We don't care what Leonard Ellaby is tweeting on the internet saying this. We don't care what Bob Arum is saying. No. We want the best fights. And if I'm the only one speaking truth to power to these people, it's not going to happen. I need everybody speaking truth to power. If I'm going to be the only one speaking truth to power and and everyone wants to slant justice towards their favorite fighter, then you go right ahead. But we're not going to get where we need to be. You know what I mean? We're definitely not going to get to where we need to be. And part 2 of the conversation is, shall we say, Earl Spence has come out and say, has come out and said Terrence Crawford's next. And I can only guesstimate. I mean, it's not even guesstimation. It's what I've heard and what I know to be true is I genuinely believe Earl Spence is holding his ground. You know, they're in these, shall we say, negotiations. I don't even think it's about negotiations between the fighters. It's more negotiations with Al Heyman and these networks that's holding this fight up. Al Heyman doesn't have a network. Al Heyman wants to use the Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight the same way he used Floyd Mayweather. You understand what I'm saying? He has to secure a network to put on PBC events. If he doesn't secure a network, it's going to be tough sledding in 2023. And I'm encouraging every PBC fighter, go get your money, man. He don't have any women. He's never signed Carissa Shields or anyone else. Alicia Baumgartner. Go get your money, man. All right. And if you got to go to Top Rank, if you got to go to what's the other place? Matchroom. It's a dirty business. Or you want to bet on yourself and start regional, start in your hometown, put on your own events, you know, be the headliner of a amateur event. You know what I mean? Have one sanctioned fight. You know what I mean? You got to be creative with this, man. You know what I mean? You got to be creative. And I think it's time that boxers start thinking outside the box and start making it happen. Because if Al Heyman don't secure any network money, it's going to be tough sledding for PBC. It's going to be really tough sledding. And I don't want to see these fighters in dire positions. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Wilder's on pay-per-view. Yeah, Fox is only doing pay-per-views because they're not putting up the money. They're not putting up no more money for the non-competitive fights that's been on Fox. And it hasn't brought in the rating that they desire. You know, Fox is used to 5 million people watching, 7 million people watching. Fox is not used to putting on boxing events where 1.5 million people are watching on free TV. You know what I mean? And if you're paying $1 million salaries, and I can just show the replay of Notre Dame versus USC, I might as well do that. You know, I own the content and I can do it for free. So that's the reality of this, man. And but we'll sit back and see. So Earl Spence has said this. Terrence Crawford has not gone on record. I know he said, Blue Blood said he said what he said to him, but he hasn't gone on record. And there are many outlets where Terrence Crawford can go on record. And Terrence Crawford needs to choose his way of going on record. Because when the camera was on him, he said, I don't want to talk about the fight. But when he was at 7-Eleven with Blue Blood, he said everything that he needed to say. And so he needs to go on Bernie the Boxer's platform and have a conversation with the people, or tweet it, or Instagram it. And that's just it, man, because people are literally saving up $2,000 and $3,000 to go and pay these guys. Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Got to understand that. You know, and there's a lot of people who are turned off. I was in the gym yesterday. I was boxing, and the guy walked up to me and was like, you like boxing? He's like, yeah, I like boxing. I'll tell you a funny story. He's like, yeah, I like boxing. And he said, man, I'm tired of all this Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Man, I was excited, but now I'm only 25% interested. You understand? And then I was like, oh, what channels do you watch? He was like, oh, I watch Blue Blood. He said, it's your boy. He said, it's your boy. I know why. He said that. And then he went on and said, I watch Boxing Ego. I watch Fanon. He never mentioned my channel. I was like, man, do you watch his barbershop conversations? Yeah, I check him out every now and again. I was like, go subscribe to Barbershop Conversations, man. So I appreciate him, man. But that was my story. He said every channel but mine. Oh man, it was funny. See, I see other people will lie when they tell that story. I was in the gym and the man ran up to me and said that. So anyways, man. So that's where we're at with this, man. I'm sure people want to sound off on the Connor Benn, but it's a whole inside job, man. It's a whole inside job. And you can look at every promotional company in the past 2 years and see that they all done it. The 130-pound Mexican guy, Oscar Valdez with Bob Arum. You had Al Heyman with Mikhail Fox. And you've had, and this is the second time with Eddie Hearn, Oscar Rivas versus Dillian White, and Connor Benn versus Chris Eubank. You know what I mean? So, anyways, man. So I'm gonna get back on my countdown for Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. It's supposed to be. Didn't every media outlet say November 19th? Didn't every black media outlet choke what's the guy's name? Mike Coppinger nuts? I said it wasn't happening. They don't believe me. Mike Coppinger come out, they believe him. What do I know, man? What do I know? You know what I mean? And but feel free to call. You guys want to? I haven't opened up the phone lines since Jerry Monday. Jerry. Feel free to call in, man. Let me know what you guys think about what the hell's going on in the sport of boxing, man. Are you listening to the show? Nigga, I know it's a parody, nigga. I know the fight ain't happening November 19th. God damn. The reason why I'm doing the countdown because I was the only person right. I was the only one in boxing saying, no, the fight ain't happening. Oh, Fred, you don't know what the fuck you talk. How the fuck I don't know what the hell I'm talking about? And I'm listening to the man talk. I'm literally listening to the man talk, and y'all telling me I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Everybody else on the internet is guessing, and I'm telling the truth. And we got 916 calling in. What's up?
What's up,
Hey, how you feel, dog?
I just want to say, man, just keep pushing, bro. I respect what you're doing, man. So far, boxing.
Oh, thank you.
Doing your thing, brother. All day. I'm out.
Oh, appreciate it. That was quick. And
yeah, I ain't in here like that.
I appreciate you, dog.
All right.
What's up, man? What's up?
Yo. What's up, baby?
Oh man, you on your biggie tonight, huh? Okay. What's up, man? What you got?
Someone else talking? I seen you just got a call.
No, he hung up real quick. He just wanted to say what's up.
Steroids in boxing. If you did a list of fighters that have tested dirty over the last, since the PED era, it's literally a who's who of boxing.
Right.
From Shane Mosley, James Toney, Fernando Vargas, Shannon Briggs, Roy Jones has a failed substance test in his history. Canelo Alvarez, man, and several that I'm leaving out. I mean, several. And then if you think about prior,
Fury,
prior, I don't really count Oscar Valdez because he wasn't dirty. That was a week of. That was one of those week of drugs where when he tested, he was positive for what they tested for, but he was allowed to take it at that time. A lot of people overlooked that little fact. That's why he was allowed to fight, because he again, the rule is there that some of those drugs are week of, and in England sometimes it's day of. You can take certain diuretics and stuff right to the day of the fight, but you just can't test dirty right before the fight. But nonetheless, I'm not surprised at all about what's his name failing Ben failing that test, because another thing, anytime you see these catch weight fights like that where there's a big discrepancy in weight, I'm always looking at it with shade. Even when Brooke fought Golovkin, now he didn't test dirty, but a lot of times, I mean, let's face it, Manny Pacquiao, I was a fan of Manny's. He was a great fighter, and I know he never tested dirty, but you know, sometimes these guys don't get caught. But I think people would be alarmed to know how many guys, and if you listen to Paulie Malignaggi, he kind of been saying for a long time, and he would know, being all the way on the inside of boxing, lots and lots of these guys take something. And even the ones that are legal, like the SNAP, like that SNAP program, the guy, you know, Conte, who heads that up, was the king of performance enhancing drugs. Yeah, right. He was the king of it. But what he did is, after he got cleared of that and paid his fine or did his time, whatever he did, he just said, you know what, I'm going to operate in the ones that they do allow, because the ones that they do allow are performance enhancing drugs either. It's really a bunch of junk, really, you know, and what they, if you look at like what they do allow, some shit they allow, like I say, to the week of, you know.
I'm in agreement with you. It's a who's who of boxing. And two, I want to say, what does Snack do? Snack, I mean, I'm like, people, I know Breadman has come on, and so he would be the expert because he's been up there. But I'm looking at Snack, and I'm like, dude, I don't see these Snack guys knocking guys out.
No, but if you listen to them repeatedly, they say my recovery time is quicker than it's ever been. I'm able to cut weight better than I ever could. And, you know, you hear this repeatedly, and it's got a cute little, you know, snap or snack, whatever the fuck it is, you know, cute little, what do they call it, with the initials that make up for the term, whatever, homonym or whatever, you know. But really, those are drugs, man. Those are drugs that they're taking. Those just happen to be the ones that the commissions and the testing allots for. Who's to say how much they make you perform more than any others? Like the one that Canelo got busted for, it's a very antiquated weight cutting drug, from what I know. And when they told Freddie Roach about it, I seen Freddie Roach, he laughed. He was like, I can't even believe that he got caught with that, because they got illegal drugs that work way better than that. That's an old Combuterol, I believe it was called. He said that's like an old you know, weight cutting diuretic, you know, and they got ones now that are legal that are even better than that, and that's what I had learned about it too. So I really don't know. Canelo may be telling the truth about the meat, because they know that the Combuterol is something that they put in these cows over there in Mexico, like 60%. And you know, but he's not going to get the benefit of the doubt, because he's a millionaire athlete, and people will say, and rightfully say, look, man, you got the money, you know that meat could possibly be tainted, and you got plenty of money to stock your freezer with the best beef from anywhere in the world, so you know you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt, and I get that. But yeah, I'm like Big Baby Miller. He you know, he's been busted a couple of times. And there's a whole bunch, man. There's a whole bunch that I'm leaving out, and we're not talking about just, you know, underling boxers. We're talking about some major players, and like James Toney, when he beat Ruiz for the title, he tested positive for steroids. And then you got the rumors like Evander Holyfield was involved in that Balco. He was on the Balco list. Vinny Pazienza, one fight he had, they said before the fight his testosterone level was 7 times, you know, 7 times the normal amount. You know what I mean? And so, like I say, you know, when you and then of course cocaine and a lot of drugs like Ray Leonard, Whitaker, Oscar. I mean, there's lots of guys that tested, and prior to the PED era sparking off the testing, there was PEDs then too. You know what I mean? So who knows how many guys? Me personally, I'm against it, but you know, and then there's other PEDs. There's all the cosmetic ones that, you know, the commissions don't test for. They test for like the most popular ones, but you could be taking, you know, and that's what I heard, you know, people would say about Manny is they said the Philippines is like the PED capital, and they got a lot of designer steroids that, so if they're not testing for them, you can be taking them, but they're not testing for them, so you ain't going to get caught, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. And it's the same drugs like Canelo takes and all these other guys, I believe, allegedly, right? I think that they take these drugs that, like you said, can't be detected because they can afford to use these drugs to cut weight and build endurance and build power or whatever they're building, you know. And but it's a real problem in boxing. It's a real problem. And
When Shane Mosley tested, it was the second Oscar De La Hoya fight, and I remember watching the fight with my wife. And you know, Shane came up, I think, from lightweight right to welterweight to fight Oscar, if I remember correctly. And I remember in the first fight, I said, God damn, he got big pretty quick. Now Shane, not really a big man in an overall sense. And he's always been a fit fighter, you know, just like Oscar and most of these guys. He's a fit guy. He's very fit. You can see that. But in the second fight, I remember HBO did their preliminary piece, and they showed Shane squatting, just like you've seen with Benn recently, an enormous amount of weight, man, an unworldly amount for a 150-pound motherfucker to be squatting 500 or 600 pounds, and his body was just ripped to shreds, and his head. That's another thing that they say, you know, when they take these fighters taking that shit, a lot of times their head swells up, big round kickball head, and Shane's head, you know, would look like that. I told my wife, this was back when she used to watch the fights with me, and she certainly knew who Shane was. Yeah, I said, I think Shane's on that shit. And she said, nah,
not
no
Shane.
way. You know what? And I thought the same thing. If you would have asked me then, who's the one fighter? And right around that time is really when the PED stuff really was starting to kick off. If you would have asked me who's one fighter in boxing that you would say would never use something like that, I probably would have said Shane Mosley, because he's a nice, you know, he's always a nice, unassuming type of guy. But that's what these athletes, man, a lot of times, you know, there's millions of dollars on the line. I mean, it's just that simple. It's not just, you know, it's not just in boxing, but of course, baseball and all football and all the other sports. There's millions of dollars on the line, and you know, they're looking for a way to get a competitive advantage. And in Benn's mind, he probably thinking, well, you know what, this isn't so bad because he's a lot bigger than me, and he's going to make a lot of money in this fight. And you know, we're both going to make a lot of money, and you know, he's a lot bigger than me, so this is just even the play. You know, find reasons to justify to himself why to do it. And make no mistake about it, the reason they were fighting that fight is for money. Right. Flat up, straight up, and flat out. The same reason all these fighters fight. I get a kick out of guys talking about legacy. That's what fans talk about. The fighters that make it to the top echelon of the sport is less than 10%, and make no mistake about it, every single one of them is fighting for the bag. They got managers and handlers and people that insist that they get the money, because it's very few that get in a position to make that type of money. Guy was telling me the other night, you know, Bud Crawford wants the Spence fight for legacy. I'm like, well, he's demanding to see this promoter's books. You got a better chance of that guy giving you one of his kids before he shows you, you know, before he shows you those books. They don't do that. If Bud Crawford was just wanted this fight for legacy, and make no mistake, I'm a huge Crawford fan. He's my favorite fighter, active right now, but he would have just said, look, give me $3 million and y'all keep the rest, and just let's get the fight going, you know, or something like that. But no, man, it's about the money, you know.
It's definitely,
and that's a big fight over there, Eubank and Benn, because of their dads.
Yeah, it's a huge fight. It's a huge fight. Yeah, huge fight. And you're right, they're doing it for money, and there's a lot of self-respect, self-dignity on the line, but they're not fighting for a belt, as you say. They're that is a probably a generational fight, or per se. I don't know what the term is for it, but they're not fighting for nothing special as it pertains to boxing.
Well, they got belts, you know what I mean? you know, a lot of times, and Mayweather said it best, and of course he was in a unique position to say so. Both collect dust. They don't pay college tuitions. They don't buy summer homes. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, if you know, getting the belts as a segue to get to the money, that's kind of how it works.
Right. I was about to say that.
Yeah. Although there are plenty of champions and guys that have been championed that still didn't really get to the money. Is Lara. Lara's probably a good example. He's been a title holder most of his career, but and he's gotten some fights because he's been around a long time, but he never really got the big money. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, you know, it's the liaison, the titles. You know, 12-round fights pay more than a 10-round fight, and I'm not trying to discount the competitiveness of the fighters because of course they're competitive and they want to compete and challenge themselves and stuff like that. But like I say, the top guys, the 10% that actually can make the life changing money, there ain't no question about it. That's why they hire advisors and managers, you know.
Right.
But Crawford probably doesn't know from a analytical standpoint exactly what his fight against Spence should be worth. But he got someone advising him, telling him about what it's worth. You know, you can guarantee that. You know what I mean? He got someone in his ear that he's paying to let him know. You know, look, this is where you know you're being treated fairly, and this number below that, you know, is not market value. And but yeah, it's all about the money, folks. It's all about the money. Now, as it relates to the promoters, I don't know. I tend to not really agree with what you were saying about them knowing about the fighters using PEDs, because the fact is if you get caught using them, likely that fight goes out the window, just like this one here this weekend. And now the promoter stands to lose money. They're going to lose some money, whatever money they've paid, you know, up to this point for promotional expenses and what have you. They're going to lose. And so if you know this fighter's dirty, you're probably not going to want to put your money behind them. You know what I mean? Because you're like, you know, there's a good chance this fight might get canceled if his motherfucker gets caught.
Well, this has been since August, September that they've known, and they still put the money up for him. Oscar Rivas, Dillian White, they knew Dillian White tested positive. Bob Arum went off on Mike Coppinger because he released it. So obviously he knew that that it was a substance, you know. So so they know because they're training in their gym, they're training with their trainers, and they're paying them. So it's similar to a teacher who's not at school that day, and when the substitute teacher say, "Little Johnny did this," you're like, "I know he did it." Because I know little Johnny, you know, or little Keisha,
yeah, there's
little
certainly
Maria.
still liability there for the promoter, you know.
It's no liability because it's see, if this was the NBA or the NFL, yes, there's liability. Who are they liable to? Who was Bob Arum liable to?
Well, the liability lies in the fight getting canceled due to the failed test.
Yeah, but
now the venue that you paid for, and like I say, any of the money that's been spent, and a lot of people don't know, but I'm sure you do. And there's expenses leading up to a fight, advertising. You know, there's a lot that goes on there, hotel bookings and stuff like you were talking about. And if you know this fighter is doing dirty, then there's the liability right there.
Mm-hmm.
No, but it's a financial. It's not that they're liable necessarily to a higher authority, but they're liable in a sense of financial loss. Mm-hmm. But I don't know for sure. Maybe they do now. I'm not saying that they wouldn't try to get the fight over and keep shit under wraps, because let's face it, they're promoters, man. Boxing is a dirty business, so you know, I could definitely see a scenario where they find out that the guy was dirty, but if it can kind of be kept under wraps and they can still put the card on, would they do so? Yeah, likely so, you know. But you figure Bob Arum, thank Jim, but I doubt Bob Arum's in there. I mean, there'd be plenty of times where one of his fighters could, you know, have personal time to go and shoot up some steroids, and he ain't gonna be nowhere around it. You know what I mean?
I believe they know. Because they know they fighters, they know their history. I believe they know. There are experiences where they may not know. It may come unexpected. Like, let's say, who would be considered a great character guy? Andre Ward. If Andre Ward was a Pop Dirty, I'm sure that might shock a lot of people, or anyone else you could think of. But yeah, I'm certain they know.
Do you know, Fred, when I seen on Showtime, it was a couple months ago, easy, that they said they were fixing to come out with a documentary about Andre Ward. Do you know when that's supposed to drop? Because I've been looking.
Yeah, next year.
Oh, it's next year.
Next year.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. Hopefully it's good, man, because he's not compelling when he does the interview. So hopefully no, I'm being honest. Like, hopefully they can make him interesting. I really hope that they got all his amateur footage and maybe his mom and his dad. I know his dad is deceased, right? So hopefully, or maybe not. I don't know, but hopefully they can make him interesting, because he's not interesting. He's a matter of fact guy. Like if you just want to hear the cold cut like opinion, it may not be 100% honest, but he's not really that filibusters that filibust a lot, So
I love his boxing commentary, though. I'm a guy. I prefer the commentary in boxing to come from boxers.
Right.
Now, sometimes they suck at it. Like, I thought George Foreman really, I don't know. George seemed to just say anything that came into his mind. Sometimes he'd make some really good observations. But Kevin Kelly is another one. I like Kevin, but Andre Ward is very analytical and accurate, usually, what I hear from him. I've always been a big Andre Ward fan. I followed him from the Olympics. I was an Andre Ward fan when he couldn't find a fan, to be quite honest with you, because he was not very popular throughout most of his career. I picked him to win the Super 6 tournament, and he wasn't favored to win.
Was not favored.
No, but I told anyone that would listen, Andre Ward going to be the favorite. There was a lot of good fighters in there. I said, but I favored Ward. But I got to tell you, man, his last two fights, the first fight, I had him losing that fight, 116, 111.
That's fair.
Kovalev.
That's fair.
Yeah. I didn't like. I think they jobbed Kovalev really bad in that fight, and I think he got jobbed again in the second fight because Andre was doing better in the second fight, of course. But the fight ended on 3 consecutive low blows without even a warning. Kovalev hadn't been off his feet at all in the fight. It's rare that you see a fighter get stopped from body shots, whether you thought they were low or not. I mean, typically when you see a stoppage, a standing stoppage like that, it's the fighter's defenseless to the head. It's rare that you see a fight just get up and stopped on body shots, and they were low blows. I mean, I watched them several times, and the ref, he just jumped right in and just stopped the fight. And partly I felt a little bad for Andre Ward, though, because he had hurt Kovalev. He caught him with maybe the cleanest right hand I'd ever seen Ward really land, and it really had hurt Kovalev hurt. And when he went to the ropes, and again, typically when you hurt a guy with a headshot, when you go to try to get him out of there, you throw in headshots because that's how you hurt him. But, he didn't do that. And I felt like if he would have went, upstairs and threw some fast combos, Ray Leonard was a perfect example of a guy who knew how to get a stoppage. These guys, what they do now, a lot of times what you see is they load up. So they get a guy buzzed, they get him hurt, they get him to the ropes where they can finish him. And then instead of doing, like, say, what Oscar De La Hoya did to Fernando Vargas, that's another good comparison. He wasn't throwing everything he had. He was just throwing straight shots as fast as he could. And the ref ain't got no choice but to stop a fight, really, at that point. And I think if Ward would have done something similar to that, he'd have got a clean stoppage, But I got to say also, I was disappointed, dude, that he retired after that, because it seemed to me like he had a lot left. He finally made it to the very top of the pound-for-pound list, even if it was debatable, but still seemed like, he left a whole lot on the table at that point.
Right. Stark says Chavez failed the test and Hearn moved the venue. Remember that?
Chavez Jr.
Yeah, remember that against?
Yeah, I do remember him failing. Is that what happened?
Yeah, that was Daniel Jacobs. Who was that? He moved it to Arizona, right? Yeah, moved it to Arizona. Sure did.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, brother, I don't know. I mean, hell, I could easily be wrong, you know, or it could be sometimes they know and sometimes they don't, you know.
yeah, Arizona got a weak commission, man.
Yeah, that's why anytime you see a fight popping up in a place like that, it's safe to say, well, you can't just assume entirely, but those are the ones you can look at with a little bit more shade. Although the Vegas Commission has been caught doing a lot of shit too. I mean, I think it's just a corrupt business, man. I don't even call it sport anymore, even though it is a sport. It's just well documented, man. It's business first. It's totally business. Though that fight you just talked about there is a perfect example. He fails the drug test there, and so what's he do? He moves it to a place where they don't test for that drug, or maybe they don't do the same type of testing. People tell me Earl Spence doesn't do testing. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know how he could get around it, but
no, he was enrolled. Him and I know last because that was a part of the conversation. He was enrolled, and so was Ugas. You know, as it pertains to but he's never been popped. He's never been popped. So
but didn't you hear where they were saying,
man, they gonna say a lot of shit, man.
Well, I think Conte himself said that there's a list when fighters test clean and they're involved in the testing, their name goes on a list, and he says Spence's name wasn't on the list. Ugas's was, but he said Spence's wasn't.
Yeah,
Did you hear about that? Because I don't know the details, but I'm asking you.
No, he was on it. I remember. I remember that conversation, and I remember it coming out or something. But Victor Conte has no leg to stand on.
Yeah, well,
he has no integrity. Victor Conte has no integrity, man. And I don't want to come off as if I'm defending Spence. I'm just saying that Ugas was a clean fighter, and so was because I remember it came out. They posted it on their Twitter.
Yeah.
And he's never tested dirty. Ugas has never tested dirty. Keith Thurman has never tested dirty. Sean Porter's never tested dirty. So these guys are in their 30th fight, 35th fight, whatever. They've never tested dirty. So I think
I agree with that. But you know what? And innocent until proven guilty. I mean, everyone deserves that benefit of the doubt. But Benn never tested dirty. What's he got? 20? I don't know how many fights he got. But James Toney had a long ass career, but he never tested dirty until way late. Canelo Alvarez too. And then the question is, man, how long was these guys? Could they have possibly been doing something, and then they finally got caught, as opposed to, well, this is the first time I did it. 50-some fights in, and this is the
respect
first time.
that.
Huh?
I respect what you're saying. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, I mean, but still, all you can do is go by the test results, right? But knowing how dirty boxing is, and just what you were talking about how the promoters likely know, even they know, you know, it really throws a ton of shade. And like I say, plus there's a lot of drugs they don't test for. They test for certain ones, you know what I mean? And you could be doing a multitude of different shit, and there you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's a broad discussion, man. I was watching the Ravens play the Steelers back when Roethlisberger was playing, and that rivalry between the two teams was deep. And one of the Ravens linebackers, I think it might have been Suggs, he got to Ben Roethlisberger and smashed him in the pocket. And Roethlisberger hurt his ankle, and it was hurt bad. He couldn't even get on. They had to get him off the field, you know, and it was a big game. It was playoff contending type of game. And he was all fucked up, and he couldn't even walk. Well, they took him to the side, and they took him into that little tent that they go into, and the guy commentated, said, well, I guess they're going to go in there and give him some candy, you know, like being sarcastic. He knew what the fuck was going on. They took him in there, and they shot him up likely with cortisone or whatever drugs that are legal. But guess what? He missed one series, and then he came right back out there, and he wasn't even limping a lick.
Right.
Now, if that's not performance enhancement, I don't know what is, because if they wouldn't have gave him whatever they gave him, there was no fucking way he was coming back out there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah. But they got drugs that they allow, drugs that they don't allow. I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're right. Dana Jones says over 50 bodybuilders has passed away from PED usage in 2022 on YouTube. Wow. Dr. Chris Rayer explained how and why diabetic insulin is used to cut weight. Damn.
Insulin.
I'm not an expert on that, but 50 and man, that's
crazy.
Man, between bodybuilding and rap and being a rapper, shit. Those not the professions you want to be in.
I've always liked bodybuilding. I remember while World of Sports used to show it. They probably show it on ESPN or somewhere still to this day. But I remember the Arnold Schwarzenegger Ferrigno era. And those guys, yeah, man, they were incredibly muscle bound and they were taking shit back. But have you seen these motherfuckers lately?
No, I haven't.
Look like something out of a comic book, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's no way natural. When you look at that, there's no way a man is going to look like that naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And then what it does to what you got downstairs going on, you can forget about that. You can hang that right up.
Right.
Because that muscle doesn't not benefit from the shit that they take, man. I mean, I don't know what gets in that. I'd like to be fit, like say one of these boxers, like tremendously fit athletes when they're trained up. But I wouldn't sacrifice what these guys do for their bodies to look like that. And a lot of times I've heard, I don't know about you, but I've heard a lot of times some big muscle bound motherfuckers ain't even really that strong.
I don't know, but they look it. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. We ain't looking at them lift weights. Shit, we looking at them pose. You know what I mean?
I know, but like if you ever look at the power lifters, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look different. They look different.
Yeah, sure. They look totally different. Mm-hmm. Their muscles are more. They got big muscles and bone. They're big and shit, mm-hmm. but they're not ripped to shreds where you can see every striation in every muscle.
Right.
That's terribly unnatural. So I am surprised to hear though 50. That's a big fucking number, man.
That's a large number. I'm surprised the government ain't stepped in because America love controlling everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you got to think too. They got to do something about PEDs. You would think just from a lot of kids they look up to athletes, right? So. I don't know, that probably plays into it to a degree, but that's probably a tough thing. People have been saying for years that the government should get involved in boxing. But what I know from government getting involved in shit, a lot of times, 95% of the time, it becomes a total failure and a bureaucracy, and they wind up doing more harm than good,
And that's what it's about, creating a filibuster, the element to it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we just gonna talk about this for 2 years. You know what I mean? And that it's profitable being a filibuster. It's big. That's big business.
Yeah.
Shit, we've been filibustering. Shit, we've been filibustering. How you say it? Been filibustering. Your favorite subject, reparations, and whole bunch of other stuff.
My favorite subject.
Yeah, we've been filibustering. We've been filibustering a lot, man. You know what I mean? So, but filibustering is profitable, man. It has. I don't know. I don't know what topics in the white community is, but in the black community, the Democrats are great at it. I don't know what y'all value on the other side, but the Democrats has value. The Democrats are amazing. They have convinced 9 out of 10 black people. It's just beside me because I don't want to make the show about. But go ahead, man, because we're gonna go down that road again.
Well, Fred, I'm a conservative, but I'm a moderate conservative.
I don't know. What does moderate conservative mean?
Well, let me give you a couple for instances. Like most conservatives are against abortion. I'm not. Okay. Most conservatives don't believe in government health care. I do.
Okay.
You know what I mean? A lot of the like I'm kind of like a John McCain type Republican. You know what I mean? I go with what makes sense to me. I really don't care really what side of the aisle some laws or ideas come from. I just kind of go with what I think makes sense. You know, McCain was that way. He caught a lot of hell from his own party for being that way. You know, and voting on the other side of the aisle and stuff like that. But like even reparations, like I've told you, I'm in favor of reparations. It's just you know, we discussed you know how those reparations would come about. But you know, if you ask most conservatives, they'll tell you they're not in favor of reparations and they're against abortion and you know some of these standard you know issues like that. So moderate meaning very hard to be moderate in today's political climate because the parties are so polarized.
Right.
And that's another thing, and not to really, like you say, get too far off onto it, but sometimes when I hear y'all talk about like systematic racism and white people and this and that, and I'm like, man, you guys are certainly giving us a lot of credit because if you haven't noticed, for the last 10 or 15 years, white people basically been at war with each other due to the political divide between conservatives and liberals, almost to the point of almost civil war, like you've seen there at the Capitol. They're, you know, most white people are kind of divided half and half and it's very polarized, you know, the very conservative part of the Republican Party, the upper 10%, and the very liberal part of the Democratic Party, you know, they get most of the attention, and there's lots of conflict there between, you know, white folks. In my own family, you know, I mean, half of my family are liberal-minded Democrats, and the other half are conservative. And fuck, man, we can't even get together for Thanksgiving half the time because the shit turns into a shit show.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I don't,
Yeah.
man. I've never thought politics superseded family. Never.
Oh man.
Wow.
It's so bad, Fred. At least in my family, I got a pretty big family. I had to tell them all a couple years ago because we usually have it here in my house. No political talk. If you come here, yeah, and you talk politics,
wow.
I don't care. Yeah, you can't. If you do, I'm gonna politely ask you to leave. And 3 years ago, I had to kick my wife's aunt up out of here, and she's a Republican like me, but she's one of these ultra conservative Republicans, right? One of the, you know, she represents what gives Republican a bad name, just like Democrats have.
Y'all really fight over that shit? Like, man, I understand it, but I'm not fighting a family member over. Maybe I'm different. I'll say because I'm the guy that says what he says. I'm so, as a matter of fact, it's ridiculous. I told my sister one time, my sister told me one day, like, I found someone to love. I said, congratulations. She says, what if I told you it was a woman? She was a girl. And I said, well, I hope you're ready to go to hell.
Oh.
Like, we were raised she was raised, my sister was raised in the church. So
yeah.
So we were both raised in the Baptist church, and I told her exactly what we were raised off of, you know, and I'm not, you know, right is right, wrong is wrong, man. And but I'm not at Thanksgiving dinner. I'm not concerned if you gay or straight. You know, I'm thankful you made it another year. You know, like
yeah, that's another one. Like me, when I was younger, you know, when I was coming up, 21, 22, not that long ago, 30 years or so, there was a huge stigma attached to being gay. Gays got harassed, man, beat up, and in my mind, treated unfairly. Now, I never was that way even back then. But had I used some of the slang words associated, sure, I did. You know, and I'm a Christian myself. And, you know, it's tough, man. It's tough for me now because now my attitude is now, and it's been for years, you know, it's in the Bible, it tells you it's not our job to judge, right? It's not our job to judge people. So people got
judge. No, telling the truth is not judging.
No, I know. But like, if you say, well, maybe like what you said, well, you're going to hell. Well, maybe, but really that's God's judgment to make. He's the man that's going to make that call, you know. Now, I got an aunt who's real religious, and her first grandson, she adored, but he was gay. And me and some of the other men in the family, we could tell early on, because, you know, a lot of times you can tell.
Right.
And we could kind of tell he was. And, well, he turned out to be just that. Now, he's a good dude. He's a hardworking dude. He's got a good job. He kept his nose clean. You know, as a human being, he's straight. But she still, to this day, struggles with his homosexuality because she's old school in her Christian beliefs.
And that's fair. That's
And
her life. That's her moral compass.
No, it is. But this is why I think so many, like we had a big, deep conversation about it one night, and she had always told me when I would ask her like certain things about religion, because I wasn't always a firm believer, and I would ask her, and when she didn't have the answers, you know, for something like maybe, you know, why does bad stuff happen to good people? Or, you know, if I would try to pin her down on something, she'd say, listen, that's where faith comes in. God, you're not going to know everything that how he works. It's not up for you to know that. You know, if it's up for you to know that, he's going to let you know when it's time for you to know, you know, if you need to know. And you know, you got to have faith. Because I don't have the answers for those tough questions that you're asking me, but that's the answer right there. And so when I thought about it, I said, you know, that's what it is with gay folks. Who knows why God made some people where they're going to be? Because gay people been around since the dawn of mankind, and who knows why? Maybe he does it to teach the rest of us to be tolerant, right? Because what we realize is it's our brother that's gay. It's our cousin that we grew up with and loved and hung out with that turns out to be gay. And by the time we realize it, we already got all this love and stuff invested into them. And then what we're going to do then? Just hate them at that point or condemn them to hell when, you know, maybe God has gay people around for that reason right there. So to teach the rest of us to be tolerant, because like I say, it's our kids sometimes, and you know, our loved ones around us. And you know, she tells me, "Well, God doesn't make mistakes," and I've heard a lot of Christians say that before. And I'm like, "Well, what do you call it when a person's born with no eyesight?" You see, because I firmly believe people are born gay. I don't believe that they can. I don't think it's a club you get talked into joining. If you're a heterosexual male and you're truly heterosexual, nobody's going to talk you into doing, you know, fellatio, and you know, you're not going to get talked into that. I can't imagine, you know. So that's another debate people have, if people were born gay or not.
Yeah, I don't know this, but if the conversation gets too deep with another man, I understand that I understand it. Hey, what's up, No Spoon Podcast? I appreciate you doing the show with you. What's up, Broken? Hey, I'm gonna post an interview that we had on Broken Traditions tomorrow. It's up right now, but I'm gonna post it tomorrow. But I'm gonna tell you this: if the conversation gets too deep, like, here's my get out of a gay conversation real quick with another man. You mad at another nigga because he sucked dick. And I just leave it there. Yo bitch sucked another nigga's dick. Oh, so you mad at your girl too. She sucked dick too. And I just leave it alone because I don't like going that deep. I'm not gay. I don't want my son to be gay. I want my son to procreate. But I'm not having a 2-hour conversation about homosexuality. I'm not doing that shit, man. Man, listen, I'd rather write a book. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it, man. I'm not. And I'm not gay. I have no desire to be gay. But
well, that's what I'm saying though. You're a heterosexual like me. You're not going to be convinced no matter what, even if you started hanging out with some guys and you found out you was good buddies with them, but they were gay and they taking you to a gay club or something like that, you're not going to one night be like, okay, let me try it, because that's just not in a heterosexual man. And plus, all the gays that I've known in my life, they've all told me that they knew they knew when they were kids. As soon as they became aware of their like erogenous zones and things like that, they knew. And these physical characteristics. So it really, if you look up, like the scientific definition of homosexuality is a birth defect.
Man, I can't even listen to a man singing when I'm having sex. But go ahead.
Hey,
I'm
but I
serious.
thought, hold on, but I thought in order to be gay, you have to go into the act.
Explain. I don't know what that means.
No, I'm saying in order to be gay, you have to go into the act of sex to be gay. Like people say, "Oh, I was born gay." You wasn't born with a dick in your mouth, dog. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more complicated than that because
I mean, what's complicated though? Like that's what makes you gay.
I'll tell you, you wasn't born with a vagina in your mouth either. You see what I mean? It's not until you near the age of puberty where you discover your sexuality. But earlier than that, even as 4, 5, 6 years old, kids discover their erogenous zones. But more importantly, like my cousin, and you've probably seen this before yourself, he had physical mannerisms. You know what I'm saying? And he had male genitalia, of course. He was a boy. But we could tell, the men in the family, we could tell. And I think the women could kind of tell too. You know, they didn't want to admit it, but we could tell. And I remember I went to high school with a guy, same thing. I went, grew up with this guy, mostly with his sister, but his name was Evan, and you could just tell this guy was gay. I mean, even before he started being sexually active, you see what I mean? Because a lot of times gays will try to not be gay, right? Then, because they don't want to let their parents down in a lot of cases, things, stuff like that. There's even been guys, I used to work with a guy, he got married and had a couple children, believe it or not. But he was gay. He was stone cold homosexual the whole time. Now he finally came clean out the closet, but I think Fred might be getting uncomfortable. So
No, I'm not getting uncomfortable. I'm not uncomfortable with a gay man. Now, man, let me tell you a story. I ran for public office in Whittier. Man, I had this gay man who couldn't wait to vote for me, man. You know what I mean? And coincidentally, Dre got her hair done at that salon. You know what I mean? He was a great asset to my campaign. I'm not wasting my time debating and arguing with you if you gay and this and that. What do I have in common with the gay man? Sexuality. I'm not talking to a gay man about his sexuality. I'm not. Right. And I'm not like homophobic. Like I can't be homophobic. Like I'll shake a gay man's hand. I'm not doing it because when a straight man say, "Oh, are you afraid of this?" I say, "Your girlfriend does the same thing the gay man does." And you know what I mean? So it doesn't move me. You know what I mean? Now when I see them doing the act in public, it raises my anxiety levels because I'm not acclimated to seeing that. I'm not acclimated to seeing two men hold hands and kiss in public. No, that kind of that kind of it fucks up my masculinity a little bit. But me too. But if I'm walking into a room and this man is gay, hey, what's up, man? What's up? Keep it going. How many girls you come with? Like, what's her name? You know what I mean? Like, I would prefer to talk to her than to him, but still, but I mean, the reality is I'm not, you know what I mean? It doesn't move me per se. I'm not like, no.
Well, I'll just say lastly on it that, I am kind of glad though that society.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know what that was. I am kind of glad though that society doesn't attach that stigma.
Oh, that's
so
my
much
phone.
to
I'm sorry.
Gay folk as what they once did, because at the end of the day, like I say, a lot of times they're your brothers and your cousins and maybe your uncle and maybe even your kids, man. Maybe even your kids.
Right.
And we don't wish that for them, but what would you do? You get, and so. Yeah, it's better that they be true. One thing I do have a little bit of a problem though with is gay marriage, because to me, marriage is a religious Christian ceremony, and really, if you go by the book, and I don't want to Bible thump because I haven't really ever read the full Bible and stuff to be thumping, but I'm pretty sure it's some stuff in there that says homosexuality is an abomination and things like that. But then if you're going to drag that into a Christian church, that just seems like it probably shouldn't be. Now they got a thing called a civil union, which is basically the state recognizing a gay couple in all the ways that they would a married couple, like say for tax purposes or visitation rights to the hospital and stuff. And okay, I can see that, you know what I mean? But you want to take that into the church? I don't know, man. Maybe you got to invent your own church or like your own religion where, you know, like Christianity's done so many times in the past, they split, you know, from one, like from, you know, this form of Christianity to, you know, from Catholic to, you know, Pentecostal to Baptist. If you look at the history of those splits, they all came for reasons of politics, really, you know. You feel me?
Yeah. But yeah, you know what bothers me more if we gonna move the goalposts, is these men. I'm looking at, I ain't gonna lie, I just saw an advertisement of Miami Heat is playing Thursday they playing somebody on Thursday on ESPN. I just saw it. This man got full-blown front lace in his head. What's that guy name from Miami? He got a full-blown. I don't like when men want to challenge, want to toe the line of femininity. You know what I mean? I don't like that shit. You know, like, hey, I'm gonna he got a full-blown weave in his head. You know what I mean? Shooting jump shots with a full-blown weave. You know, I'm like, that's weird to me. To me, that's weird. I saw yesterday Lil Uzi Vert. He got a belly button ring. What the fuck? I'm like, yo, what is this, dog? What is this? Anyways, man, I don't know, man. I just think men are weird like that. You know, it's I don't know, man.
If that, to get back to boxing a second, if that fight is canceled this weekend, is there any other fights on that woman's card? That's the following weekend.
Yeah, that's
right?
the following. Yeah, we're gonna be on the couch all day next Saturday.
Yes,
sure.
Sure. Well, I was kind of looking forward to this fight though. This weekend between the two of them. Catchweight fights like that are nothing new in boxing, and especially when you go back to the original 12 weight classes. Welterweights fought middleweights all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. And even if you look at Ray Leonard was never as big as Tommy Hearns, not just as tall, and you know, but and Tommy stayed quite skinny for a long time, but then he started to, you know, really the weights started getting on his frame nice, and I think he ended his career at cruiserweight and didn't look bad, you know, for an older cat. I mean, he carried the weight well, but Hagler was bigger than Ray Leonard, way bigger than Ray Leonard. If that fight was to get made today, it probably be kind of viewed as this Benn Eubank fight, you know, or it might even have been at a catchweight. But that the welterweights fighting middleweights, that's happened throughout the history of boxing. And with the way they had this weight cut thing set up, it seemed like, okay, well, you know, obviously, you know, flat-footed, you'd say, well, Eubank is too big for Benn. But him cutting to 157, because I think he's fought as high as 168, Eubank, and to cut down to 57 with, I think, 5-pound rehydration, man, that's testy waters. I can see why his old man is not for it, because when you dehydrate to that level, you're setting yourself up for a potential brain injury, because the body cuts the water everywhere it can, and the last place it's going to cut it is the cerebral fluid that surrounds your brain, you see, because there's fluid around your brain, all of our brains, and that's what keeps your brain kind of cushioned inside of your skull. And as you know, knockouts occur when your brain touches the inside of your skull. That's how you get knocked out. Well, when you cut all that water weight, it starts to take it from the last place it wants to take it, and that's the cerebral fluid, and that's why they have the weigh-ins. That's why they'll never go back to day-in weigh-ins.
Right. Kyle, what's up, man?
Man, nothing much. When I seen your thumbnail, man, I was finna get disgusted.
Why? What's up?
I'm tired of talking about the fight, man.
Okay.
I've been tired of talking. You know what I mean? Dude. I thought you were gonna talk about how Conor Benn got busted today, man, for being dirty.
True. Yeah, we talked about that. Feel free to talk about it.
Nah,
They
man.
won't talk about Jake
I
Paul.
thought I actually, yeah, Jake Paul, definitely. I actually thought that was important because it puts a strong line into what's happening in the fighters' minds, you know, as opposed to everybody speculating, doing 4 videos a day, speculating and this and that. And you know, the reality is I believe both fighters want the fight. So now I think now we got to put the pressure on Steven Espinoza and Al Heyman. You know, and if Floyd Mayweather want to raise his hand and say he's in charge, shit, Floyd Mayweather too. You know, so let me open up another phone line. But yeah, but yeah. Al, what do you think of Jimmy Butler with those braids, man? Basketball season about to start.
Dreads.
Yeah, you see that shit?
I mean, he was trying to grow his shit. His shit wasn't growing, man. So I guess he just said, "Fuck it."
So fuck it. Put a front lace in. Put braids in.
I'm just saying that's what he did.
Well, we know what he did. Do you think men should wear fake hair?
Remember when Paul Malignaggi wore that fake hair that fell off in the ring? Remember that?
I don't remember that. I gotta Google that shit.
Yeah, he had extensions in his hair, and they came busted out his fucking head.
Okay, I'm real interested. Kyle, what do you think about men wearing fake hair?
I mean, I don't have nothing. I don't really care.
Are you serious?
It doesn't. I don't really care. It's not like I don't. You know what I mean? Like that don't. It don't concern me really. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't give a fuck, man. What he do?
Really?
Yeah, I don't give a fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? Wow. That's like the same shit with the dude, fucking the dude, man. I don't give a fuck, man, with these motherfuckers. Man, y'all
trip, man.
These niggas, listen. Am I gonna do it? Listen, am I gonna do it? Hell no. I'm just saying. I don't get what I'm saying. I don't care.
Yeah, I support.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make me no difference. You know what I'm saying?
You're born who you are. Like, yeah, you're born gay. You know, it's like you can't help.
How did you do?
What?
Wait. I don't want to talk about that.
The Bible says
we could have had a normal conversation.
I don't want to talk about if you're born gay or not. Hold up, 1 second. I'll bring you back in, Troy. Should a man wait? No, because I just saw an advertisement with a man with his dreads. I'm watching ESPN right now, and I'm watching SportsCenter. I just saw a man's dreads flying. He was bald last season.
Extensions?
Yeah. But Kyle don't know. I remember our conversations about Keith Thurman and his front lace. See, but now he's backpedaling. But the point I want to make is, what's your stance, bro? What's your stance on Jimmy Butler with full blown weave?
Wait, I haven't seen it. You got a picture you can pull up, Fred?
Oh, it's not coming up.
He has hair, but he had hair before.
No, but at the end of last year, he had like a sideshow bob kind of.
Man, I'm about to pull it up right now.
It ain't growing like he wanted to, so that's what he did.
But man,
being feminine don't mean you're gay. Like I seen people that's masculine, that's real masculine, that's gay, and I seen people that's real feminine. I'm like, I thought you were gay, but he was straight though. But he was straight. I ain't got no problem. I support it, man. I support anybody. If they treat me like a good person, I'm gonna treat them like a good person.
My cousin's boyfriend, they call them bears. That's what my cousin says. They call them bears. His boyfriend looks like.
What the hell is going on, Fred? Where did you take this show? Man?
What I walk into, bro?
Man, it went from barbershop conversations.
Look at Felice Johnson. Felice Johnson, the booty bandit.
He call him in the gay community because there was a.
Man, we don't care about what they call him in the gay community, man. See, this is slippery slope you done started, Fred.
Look at this shit, man. Look at this shit. Man, look at this shit. I was gonna do a video.
That don't mean that he gay, though.
I didn't call him gay, nigga. I'm not calling him gay. Ain't no man.
You bisexual, Hassan?
Nigga.
Man, where'd you get him from, Fred?
I don't know, man. This nigga from Mars, but you know what? Mars is cool. But dreadlock
homosexual,
man, man, Troy.
Look at Jesse Lee Peterson.
Fuck no, man. Troy, Troy, focus.
He can't, Fred. He can't.
Okay, now listen. Look at this dude's hair. Is this acceptable? We talk about masculinity every night on this show. Is this acceptable?
What's the problem with it, Fred?
It's he went to a beauty salon and got his hair done.
It's better.
I mean,
I think it's more well kept than it was before. Before that shit was just like some buckwheat shit.
Man, so you think it's cool for a man to wear?
I mean, I personally wouldn't do it, but it does. Nothing about it looks like feminine.
That's what I'm saying, Fred. It's not like it's a pink wig or something. Like it ain't like a.
He just got them all twisted.
So what? So no, because I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna remember this. So it is. I'm gonna go in order. Jerry, is it okay? Wait, I'm not. I don't give a fuck who did it. That don't make it acceptable. Is Jerry? Is it okay for a man to put a woman's hair in his head and braids?
I gotta answer Fred just like the others. I really don't give a fuck. I mean, you know, if they do, it doesn't mean that you're gay. If you do that,
y'all niggas will go to jail, and y'all motherfuckers be holding belts in jail and shit. Y'all niggas.
No, I'll be the top. Hold on, I'm gonna be the top. I ain't gonna be the bottom.
Hey, Fred. Fred, let me be clear.
No.
Hold on, fuck that shit. Don't get no attention. Don't get no attention, bro. Don't give no attention.
Come on, Troy.
Yo, come on.
Yo, Fred. If the question you're asking is if it's okay for men to wear a weave, hell no. But I think that's his shit. His shit was long as fuck last year.
No, it wasn't.
Bro, his shit was crazy, and you already know when you pick it out, that shit hell long.
Weave, dog. You can't wear weaves, man.
I don't think that's a weave, bro. Now, if it's a weave, then fuck it.
It is a weave, man. It is a weave. It's a weave. It's a weave, dog. Everybody knows it's a weave.
No, man. This motherfucker Troy just said he's gonna be
beautiful,
top,
man.
Bro.
Troy, we ain't got time for this.
What the fuck is going on, bro?
Troy, please. Nah, we ain't. Don't call a man beautiful, Troy. Not here, okay?
Yo, this motherfucker said he'll be the top. What kind of shit is that, bro?
If he was in prison for life, what would you do?
No, in prison for life. Goofy motherfucker.
Clip it.
I don't want to hear that shit. Nah,
Clip it.
Man, come on.
Fred, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, man.
Yo, hey, listen.
Yo,
Max, I love him Latin too. Max, I love him Latin.
Oh, okay. So Fred, I'm seeing that he admitted that he added weave to his shit. Is that true?
It's weave, man.
I mean, I'm just saying, look, from being around dudes that have froze, you'd be surprised how much hair they got when they braid it up. The motherfuckers be having hang time. And he had a crazy sideshow Bob.
He didn't have enough though. He didn't have enough, so he was.
It wasn't real.
So he finished it off with extensions.
I need some. I need some help in here, y'all. Hey, we gonna start with Champion High because Jerry and these motherfuckers ain't getting it done.
No, there's extensions. Fuck that. I just thought that was him.
What the fuck? What did I walk into,
Yo,
man?
Fred.
What's going on?
Yo, Fred, get this nigga Troy the fuck out of here, bro. What the fuck? I'm over here driving, nigga. Look, I am dying laughing right now, bro. This nigga tripping.
Be the top. What the fuck?
Hell no.
The easy way or the hard way.
Oh my god! What the
bro? This nigga tripping, bro.
For real, I could, man. I know. I was like, did this nigga say he gonna be the top? What the fuck?
That might be the craziest shit I heard.
Then he called a nigga beautiful. Like, dude, what the fuck you talking about, bro?
I'm like, wait a minute. I was just gonna listen to the show, man. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Damn, that's fucking crazy, bro.
Hey, Fred, this motherfucker never heard of a conjugal visit or nothing. You do know if you get married, nigga, you can have sex in prison. What is wrong with you, bro? That nigga said,
he goes straight to gay.
Bruh.
He goes straight to gay. As soon as
Mike Tyson gay, he said,
bro, this dude.
I guess you were born gay.
Bro, this dude is all man violation all the way. We got to get out the hell, man. God damn.
Out of here.
Oh,
but Fred though, he said it so aggressive and so happily to be the top dude. Like I just ain't finna be the bottom, but I'll be the top.
Okay, what is this you got going on the loop, Fred? What is that?
Fred.
Whoa, come on.
Out of here.
No,
I'm judging.
So what I'm asking.
No,
Thank you.
you just see what your
I'm
man just
judging.
did,
Hey,
bro.
Cold Summer, I appreciate you sending it to me. I'm gonna pull that one up. Hey, but okay, I gotta ask you a question, Champion Heart. Is it okay for a man to put extensions in his hand?
Now I've seen cats with it was a cat that I work with. He was trying to lock his hair, and it was only getting to a certain length. So to get some longer length, he put some extensions on the end of it. I felt a certain way about it because I wouldn't have done that shit. But it wasn't like he bought like a like you see chicks wearing these lace front wigs. He didn't do nothing like that. He just put extensions on the dreads that he already had.
Because that it ends up locking up with it. It's like it turns into your hair. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it locks up into your hair.
Just grow it out somewhere.
Man, okay.
But
anyway.
But no, I wouldn't agree with that, Fred. You saying is it okay for a man to wear a lace front? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He's saying that. He's saying what Jimmy Butler just done. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, Jimmy. Butler.
Is that what this dude's got a lace front on?
He got
he just got the extensions.
Hey, he got extensions. Fuck that shit. Yeah, I just read about it right now. He got a couple inches added on the shit from last year.
Y'all.
Oh, so he got it. Okay, so he got extensions. That's not a lace front.
Man,
I couldn't tell that they were I couldn't tell they were dreads. I thought they were braided. So I thought you might have.
No, they dreads, but they braided right now. So basically, he's trying to lock them up.
I got you second, Raw.
And it wouldn't.
We ain't doing that. We ain't doing that.
I mean, I'm just
okay. So, but this is not the same. This is not the same thing as a guy sitting between his girl's legs getting his hair braided. It's not the same thing, right?
Same thing. What's the difference?
Well, it is. That's not the same thing. I mean, if you got a fro,
hey, I said,
I mean, if you got a fro and you want your girl to braid your hair, it's not the same thing as getting a damn lace front.
Oh yeah, that's extensions like a motherfucker. Shit, I'll take that statement. Y'all right?
Man,
I ain't with the extensions.
I'm with you, brother Cole. I'm with you, bro.
What the hell?
Bruh. Look at this.
Wow. Yeah, that's a little bit too. That's a little bit going too far, man. God damn.
Miami done turned them out.
Nah, braids can't. Nah, you gotta have man. This is
that's
much, man. I mean,
that's too much. That's too much.
I mean, hey, listen.
We flamed R. Kelly for the same shit.
Hey, to his defense, though, right? He has been trying to grow this shit for the last 15
I don't
years.
give a fuck.
Man, nah, man. Fuck that.
Not for you.
I don't give a fuck what he tried to do. Nigga, you can put hair mayonnaise in your shit.
Yeah.
So for 8, nigga, like, man, fuck out of here, bro. Like,
why you?
Yeah, you can take hair vitamins, man. That's
Biotin, all that shit.
You know what I don't like? A bunch of niggas with no hair talking about a nigga with some hair. Y'all jealous. Y'all niggas out here jealous. Hart ain't got no hair. Kevin ain't got no hair. You ain't got no hair. Y'all talking crazy right now.
Hey, Fred, I rode around the pasture there. I saw 8 horses missing their tails. I know where they went to now. That's sad.
Right.
God damn.
And none of
he set us back 300 years with that bullshit.
Man.
No man. Hey, Rob, what you got, Rob?
Hey, so I almost crashed my goddamn car when I heard Troy. That nigga was excited. He wanted to just come out.
He already did. He did already. He just told you what he was doing. He said, hey, listen, he literally said, you could be born gay and told us he was gonna be the top. So I mean, he just told everything.
I was gonna say it might be green, but with that statement, I don't know.
Hell no, god damn.
And then Troy tried to bully me. You gay, right?
Hey, maybe that was his way of flirting with you, Brad. He's like, you gay, right? Too, you too, right?
Oh shit!
My bad, I read it wrong.
On Mike. Hey, Fred.
What's up?
So, as far as the braids go, right? Me myself, I live in Philly, so you see a lot of different hairstyles, but I don't have a problem with somebody wearing their hair and putting that shit in there, but we look at them weird. Like I ain't like we see it, like you know, it just that's what they doing. But you know, that's it's too feminine. Like he should not. His hair was like his hair had like a little baby bush, and he been trying to grow his hair for the last 10 years. So now you come in, you got the joints hanging down to your pocket, like
trying to lock his shit up.
I think Jimmy kind of feminine a little bit anyway. Like if you ever watch his interviews.
Yeah, that's overkill. He did. That's overkill.
Man, he need to fire all his friends.
Yeah.
He's trying to come out the closet.
Right.
Yeah.
With Troy.
Troy down there in Florida. Y'all can go hang out.
I got a question for the panel. Who did it better, Floyd Mayweather, Daddy, or Jimmy Butler?
Oh man,
I'm gonna go Predator.
Damn.
Boy, Daddy got a spot in the middle. You know what I mean? That motherfucker had a landing strip with some bushes. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Hey, Fred. So we holding it to the same standard of hair plugs and all that Beijing shit that motherfuckers be spraying on this shit?
I laugh too. I laugh at all that shit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that shit's crazy. I don't do none of that shit.
Hey, my wife said, Troy, you out of pocket. She said you might as well just kiss a girl through the fucking glass. Fuck is wrong with you?
Damn.
Troy's out of pocket.
Craig said that for the world to hear.
Troy trying to get locked up right now.
My channel, Fred. Hey, Fred, I'm clipping that and putting it on my channel too, by the way.
What's that?
I'm putting your content.
What's that?
This motherfucker talking about I'll be the top.
Yeah.
Hey, but real talk.
Where?
They lock me up. Oh, wait a
Real talk. Don't ever go to jail.
Hey, Champion Heart.
Real.
You been watching too many CC Rack videos and shit.
Hell yeah.
Hey, don't forget Jimmy and G Wade were cool.
Yeah,
man.
When keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
G Wade and Jimmy are real friendly.
I know, facts.
With that shit.
That motherfucker said, I'll be the top.
What the fuck? Like, come on.
He was thinking about this shit.
Damn.
He was thinking about that shit. Hey, he been thinking about that shit. He said, you know what, the motherfuckers on Barbershop Conversation, they making fun of me the other day. So, if I go to jail, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be the top.
Damn. Oh, man. Hell no.
Wow, boy, this nigga stuck his tongue out.
Hey, he did something.
He did some weird shit. He
did some weird.
He a weirdo. Hey, Gary, hook him up with your cousin.
No shit. What the fuck?
Yeah, go ahead.
And hear me out here. Reynolds, when he started to go bald, he wore a hairpiece to make his hair look longer and fuller as a white man, right? Mm-hmm. That brother here looks like he's trying to grow his hair out long.
Look at you on the great.
Hey, 1 second. I can't hear him. Kyle, we can't hear him.
It's attention to a hairpiece.
I don't think nobody. I mean, I'm not like Eddie Hearn. I laugh at him. He got a hairpiece. Man, shit. Let it. Man, listen, man.
Yeah.
These niggas are you ashamed to be who you are. Like, you got motherfuckers wearing hats, afraid to, man, be who you are. Going bald is a part of life.
I feel the same way, but a movie star and a sex symbol and this and that. And so when he went bald, he started to get male pattern baldness. He did what many men have done, which is he wore a hairpiece. But as a white man, a hairpiece doesn't necessarily look feminine, whereas it seems like this basketball player here is simply trying to do something similar to what Reynolds did, but it looks feminine. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he went overboard.
Okay.
Man,
well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It looks feminine, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not insecure about going bald. Like, so many men are insecure about going bald. Like, I don't understand. Like, it's normal.
Yeah, I embraced it. Shit.
It's normal.
Shit. When I go bald, I'm gonna save me at least $25 every 2 weeks.
Man.
Shit, they still $40 for a bald haircut.
Damn.
Yeah.
I do my own joint though.
Yeah, I do my own every morning, but it's man.
Think it's some laser hair removal.
Yeah, man. I just think it's just.
I got a bigger problem with men wearing makeup.
Oh,
that shit crazy.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think anyone's cool with that shit.
I mean,
Well, you know, Steve Harvey, he wore that.
I mean, if
that
you ain't on
headpiece.
TV,
yeah, he wore a
if you on
toupee.
TV or something different.
Yeah,
Like that shit was weird looking. It was too perfect. Yeah,
it was too perfect. Exactly.
Hey, how you feel about laser hair removal surgery for men, Fred?
Hey, so hold up. You see everybody doing like the people.
Yep. There was that.
Bros.
What about a homogenous motherfucker like Prince? Because Prince would have his hair done, and I'm a nail polish.
Prince is a
Hey, he was getting chicks though. He was getting all them chicks.
Yeah, Prince is different. Prince is different. So we're not gonna say Prince is gay. Prince was different.
Minus some booty pants.
I knew you was gonna go there.
That's his booty.
But look how feminine he looked.
Right.
No, I love second favorite song of all time, but he's very questionable. He's very questionable, man. I wouldn't know nothing.
Man. He was a lot.
We had this conversation during COVID. Remember, Champ? Remember?
Right, I remember.
Hey, but y'all forgot to say Prince made his music. Prince make his music for everybody, gays, lesbians, whatever. But don't mess with his chicks, though.
Right.
He'll mess you up.
I mean, Prince was a musical genius, man. So
yeah, I respect his talent.
We're not talking about
Hey,
I'm gonna
somebody gonna fall.
yeah.
Hey, listen. Prince and Troy ain't no difference between the two.
Makeup and
No bullshit.
Ain't no difference between Troy and Prince. There ain't no difference. One wear asses, chaps, one to be the top.
Why would a man want to look that pretty? I mean, that flawless.
I'm with you on it.
Well, I mean, he had Prince had his that was his deal. That was his look. You know what I'm saying? During that time.
That's Troy's look too then. That's Troy's
No,
look.
Prince tried to look like Michael Jackson, but did it backwards.
Well, no, during that time, that whole what do they call it? Homogenous. What they call it? That whole thing. Yeah, that was the end thing.
You ain't gonna defend Jimmy Butler, but you gonna defend Prince with his ass hanging all the way out.
Baby face.
Hey, so what's that guy? Pete Funk? Did he have weave or did he have stuff in his hair?
Who's that?
Pete Funk.
Who?
You talking about George Clinton?
George Clinton.
Yeah, George Carlton. I said Pete Funk. My bad. George Carlton.
Clinton.
Yeah, George Clinton. That's what you talking about?
Yeah, Clinton, the guy who had all that stuff in his hair.
Yeah, I mean, that was Parliament Funkadelics, man. That was the look, all that old wild crazy shit.
We're talking about the 80s and 70s. There was a lot of questionable outfits and styles back then.
Yeah, I mean, you had the Barcades, you had Cameo. They were all
Sonic Force.
they were all on that crazy looking shit, man. I mean,
but they all had the women though.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them was down low.
Men too,
because that air they weren't allowed to come out though. Like a lot of those guys, like Luther.
You should know.
He did his history.
But that was back in the day where they couldn't do it.
Right. Well, there was no agenda being pushed in. I was bringing that up. Like Luther, he didn't push his sexuality. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about not coming out. I think there were people that knew he was gay, but he didn't push an agenda. You know what I'm saying? His music is what people loved him for.
Hey, Fred, can you pull up the Boondocks?
Freddie Jackson,
real quick with Gangstalicious. That's your nickname. We're gonna start calling Gangstalicious, man. Pull it up real quick, Fred. Pull up Gangstalicious on Boondocks.
Boondocks. That shit was funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't wear nothing Prince wore. I wouldn't wear Jimmy Butler's shit. I just think all that is just pushing us to the middle, man, or to the other side, man. I can't do it, man. I can't co-sign that shit. Yeah.
Hey Fred, pull up Gangstalicious Boondocks so you can see what Troy been going through his whole life.
But I think you can't equate people being feminine for being gay. I just don't. You could be masculine. You could be masculine and gay too. So
yeah, we know. We're talking to you.
Troy, are you gay? Troy, are you gay?
Oh no.
Huh?
Oh no.
You a virgin.
You struggle. I know you probably struggling with it, Fred.
Hey, Troy.
You know Jazz Jennings. Look up Jazz Jennings.
I ain't looking up shit. You give me it. I ain't listening up shit.
or your internet, man.
Hey, you ain't see that Dr. Omar Johnson situation?
I ain't looking up none of that shit.
He complimented.
Hey, you know a lot of shit about this
Appreciate
shit,
you, Rob. I ain't looking up nothing you said because me and Dre share the same internet fucking search engine. She gonna look at that and be like,
Right.
I ain't looking up nothing.
Fred, just
nope,
look up
no. Dre gonna look at me and say, "What is this?" No.
What is this? Hell yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up and you just share it, Fred.
Nah,
hey, Fred, you might understand. We had somebody come out in the barbershop tonight. We got love for everybody.
Yeah,
right.
Hey, Troy, you can still come on every night. Troy said, "You can."
Birdman, you got love for everybody, not all of us.
Hey, man, I like him Latin too, boy. You about to be quiet.
Don't play that weird shit with me, bro.
Oh man,
don't play that weird shit with me.
We got
Bad Bunny. I like a Bad Bunny.
We got a love connection.
No.
We got a love connection. I appreciate it.
No.
Hey, fuck that shit. We squabbing, bro. We squabbing.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'm glad I'm all the way over here.
Hell no. Hey, I'm a clip this for my Me Too movement.
Oh shit!
I'm joking around.
Man, don't joke like that.
Richard Pryor was gay too. He the best comedian of all time. So
who?
You know, Richard Pryor. They talking about you look so good. I suck on you. You know.
Oh
yeah,
man.
You look so good. I suck on your daddy.
Yeah.
Hey, Troy, I remember what movie you played on now. You were that guy off Menace to Society. The guy with the cheeseburgers now. I remember you.
Oh, yeah. Man, y'all tripping.
That's gangsta.
Wow.
That's gangsta delicious, dog.
Damn.
Anyways, man, we were talking about Jimmy Butler, but we could transition back into something else.
Whoa, transition. Be careful.
You know, Dennis Rodman used to do stuff like that, but he was a good player though, man. He the rebound.
Share that shit, Fred. Share it, man. Share it for the one time. You won't be
disappointed. I used to love this show, man.
Joe Frazier not kissing him.
No, I don't want to watch this shit, man. No. No, man. No.
Oh, man. That shit is funny, man. Share that shit, man.
Yeah, Fred. Come on, man.
I'm not doing it. No.
Hey, at least this part.
No, y'all taking it. No, I'm not getting Troy excited. No, I'm not.
Get Troy excited.
He done said all the wrong things tonight.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That motherfucker.
Damn.
He done said enough. You know.
But what you think about that guy, that pastor that came out? I forgot his name.
Talking about Eddie Long.
Everybody that came out as gay, huh?
Jesse Lee Peterson. You didn't see that situation? That was crazy, bro.
Is it something you
Yeah, well, he was suspect anyway. There was a lot of conversation about him. Anyway, before he came out.
I think he's a booty bandit, man. He's a booty tickler, man. I think Troy.
But it's like I always knew it because he always would talk about situations. What he's saying is what he
call you Geno Smith,
is doing.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, we calling him Geno Smith from now on, bro.
But he made a lot of money though doing like saying, you know, he's just an actor. You know, all these guys like Thomas Sotomayor, they just say anything just to get the views. But I can't listen. But it's just a coming time of day where you just overstep your boundaries and stuff. Like it just, I can't do that. Like you just get paid like Omar Johnson and all those guys. They say a lot of good things. I can agree with a lot of them, but like they just doing it for money. It's not like it's not like genuine. Like the pastors, and you know how the pastors in the church, they teach people this stuff.
Not all of them.
They live in the pride, you know. Not all of them though, you know. I like a couple of them. I like TJ. Yeah.
No, not him either.
Nope.
Not him either.
Dang.
Yeah.
Hey, Fred, so is that fight officially canceled, or they gonna end up doing it somewhere else? The Conor Benn bullshit.
I don't know, but they still moving forward as if it's not.
The guy, what's the other guy that was supposed to be fighting next?
It's Eubank.
Yeah, Chris Eubanks posted a whole thing up on his Snapchat today. It's supposed to still be going on so far. He passed the second test that they gave him, but he's still shaking his head, man. He said it's going to be up to them. But then I heard today that they canceled it, but he had posted it that it's still going on because he passed the second test. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it said that it's supposed to be going on since he passed the second test. But then I heard again, not from him, but another source said that he canceled it. So,
damn, it's too much money involved, bro. Whoever.
Plus, he way bigger than him, so he probably can get him a pass for spelling the drug test. What's the other guy? Got his name Eubanks. Yeah, he way bigger than him.
But y'all got to realize Ben's been on that stuff. That's why he hadn't fought an American boxer yet, because people already had it. They already knew.
No, but he'd been getting tested in all of his other fights over there because they got
these are your heroes.
Yeah, but he dropped. He dropped out.
The fucking.
I'm just reminding y'all how these celebrities get to the top. How they get to the top? They don't get to the top by their talent. They got to compromise themselves. Look, he wore a dress on SNL and he kissing another man.
They say Samuel L. Jackson's like that too. That's the only way you can get into a Lucas, one of those Star Wars movies, is to bend over if you're a man.
Man,
nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna holler at y'all. I'm gonna let y'all get to your little whatever the fuck y'all talking about tonight.
I can't believe that about Samuel L. Jackson. I don't believe that.
He ain't. The Rock ain't gay. Why y'all doing my boy like that?
Gracefully bow out. I'll holler at y'all. Be in the chat.
All right, appreciate you. I'm not playing it, Kyle.
Fred, come on, man.
On your show, you can play it on your show.
You don't care about getting strikes and shit, man. You be all right.
No, you play it on your show.
But yeah, it was a boxer back in the day that knocked somebody out. Durant, he ended up killing them because they said he was talking about his sexuality and stuff. I forgot his name. It was way back in the 60s, and he ended up crying in the dude's son's arm or something like that. It was a very touching story.
Yeah, 4-0. Yeah, DJ.
I bet you there's been some gay boxers. They might not have came out, but I would.
Oh,
bet.
Sure.
Do you think Floyd is? They said he bi. Somebody told me.
I've wondered about Floyd, but I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think Floyd gay.
I think Floyd just do it to keep his name relevant, having a lot of stuff relevant about his name going on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Floyd just ain't got no game. He always losing his girls to other dudes. He just ain't got no game.
Yeah, DJ, go Birds.
Because he started off as he started off as a quiet dude like Floyd. Like he started off as like some, just a guy that he was just boxing, and then he flipped it. After 11 years, like he got the Oscar de la Hoya fight. That's when he turned into Money May. So
well, Bob Arum promoted Floyd. He tried to promote him just like Oscar, because at the time Oscar was the big ticket item. He was getting paid lots of money, and he was the golden boy. And he would always smile real bright and say nice things about his opponent and stuff, and that brought sponsorships and stuff. Well, Bob Arum tried to promote Floyd the same way, but Floyd didn't have the gold medal, so he called him Pretty Boy. And Floyd, if you notice in his interviews while he was at lightweight, and most of the time he fought with Top Rank, he did the same thing Oscar would do. He would constantly smiling, saying the right things, being respectful, but it didn't work for Floyd the way it worked for Oscar. It just didn't work for him. And Floyd was smart enough to realize, even smarter than Arum in that particular case, that promoting him that way wasn't going to work. And so he turned heel. Like if you watch wrestling, you know what a heel is. Floyd made himself an unlikable kind of guy, a spoiled athlete, throwing money in people's faces, and he gave up all the smiling and friendly talk and talking good about his opponent.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. He played the villain. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, he turned heel. And Floyd knew, because if you look at some of the most famous wrestlers like Ric Flair, as much as we, like I adore Ric Flair as a legendary wrestler. He was funny as hell, but he was hated. He was a heel most of his career, you know, right? But see, the problem is most boxers don't want to do that. They want the fans to like them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
But Floyd didn't give a fuck. He was more concerned about the money, and it sure did work out for him. And he made a lot of fans along the way too, of course, you know.
Because the guy said that he because he stayed with Floyd, like I think he adopted him or something. He said Floyd was a nice kid, like he ain't getting in trouble or nothing. Yeah, he said.
Well, yeah, you gotta figure he's still probably a pretty clean living guy, because when you got that type of money that he's got, you can easily find trouble. I mean, I've been.
And I think he started getting in trouble once he played that character. Once he started playing that character, I think that went on in his personal life. Like it's kind of doing.
Even then, he really didn't get in a whole lot of trouble. I mean, he did bitch slap that guy at the gate of his community, but hell, I might have done the same thing if I'm pulling up in this motherfucker every night. I got a fucking $14 million house up in here, and I'm pulling up every night, and you're going to harass me, when I'm standing here in front of you, and you know it's me. Any one of us might have slapped a motherfucker, if it came to it. Now, that situation happened with his wife. Floyd got a lot of bad press for that. He did a little piece of time, and man, we've all dealt with women. I ain't never laid a hand on my wife, and I've been married 30 years, but I have smacked a couple bitches in the past that was crazy, I try to hurt them or not. They're throwing wild punches at me and fucking me up. And I mean, what can you do sometimes? I got a young daughter. I don't believe in beating women. Like I say, I ain't never beat my wife. But Floyd said, I seen it in an interview, he said, listen, man, he said, I didn't beat her. If I wanted to beat her, and we know this is true, he could have really did a number on her.
Yeah.
He said she was in my house. She started grabbing my artwork and shit and all my shit and throwing it down and breaking it up and busting it up. And I tried to restrain her. And, she was flailing and throwing punches. And you know what? I believe it. I believe what he said.
But you heard about,
what? Now, what that one R&B artist did, you guys probably know his name, where he beat the other girl she's a singer too. This is going a little ways back. I mean, he beat that girl.
I know.
Oh, you're talking about
was it Albie Sure?
No, I think you're talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna.
Rihanna.
Is that what you're talking about?
I thought he was talking about Ike and Tina.
That was crazy.
I know. But you know what? Speaking of Ike and Tina, you know what? Judge Joe Brown said that, Tina wasn't so innocent as she's portrayed in that movie.
I can believe
Tina
that.
Turner.
Yeah, that's because Judge Joe Brown said he lived right down the street from Ike and Tina Turner growing up. And he said that there was one time that him and his friends was on their bike, and Ike was outside watering the grass, just talking to him, and Tina came out there causing hell and ran him off and shit.
It was mutual, yeah. They tried to make it seem like it's one, one person.
Right. Yeah, they tried to, in that movie, they tried to make her look like she was a victim, and Judge Brown was like, nah, that wasn't the case at all.
My mother was married to an alcoholic, not my father, but her second husband. And this motherfucker, he would get drunk and he would want to try to be abusive and shit, but he was real skinny, right? Because he was one of them straight up alcoholics. So he was real light in the ass and everything. And what she'd do is she'd wait for him to get all fucked up and then whoop his ass.
Hey, they still do that to this day. People still do that.
Shit. At least he was smart about it. Hell yeah.
I hope he get off.
She didn't want to fuck with him too much when he was half, just a couple.
Right.
Yeah. She knew where he was headed, and when he got inebriated, she fucked his shit up.
She fucking what? Oh, that's funny.
Have you ever been in a situation and maybe people were drinking and stuff, and a couple, and then like the woman just hauls off and smacks the shit out of the drunk motherfucker? You ever seen some shit like that?
Oh yeah, I've seen that shit plenty of times.
Alcohol is a bad thing.
Alcoholism is actually worse than crack. To see an alcoholic is worse than a crackhead.
Yeah, my daddy an alcoholic. So I pray that he get off, man. Like it inspired me not to drink neither. Like smoke, I don't smoke or drink.
So that's good.
And no tattoos. Like that's what Floyd said. He said he don't smoke or drink.
You got no hair braids or nothing, do you?
And that's crazy. A lot of stuff. A lot of people
his dad's on top.
Man.
He said, if you was going to jail for life. Oh, that was funny.
Oh man, that shit is out of line.
I've never had that thought in my life.
No shit. God damn, that shit is out of line. That's a man violation all the way, man. God damn. Man.
I got that from that thing, you know.
Sitting next to this guy, I was sitting across from this guy at a picnic benches, was at an outside park, and people was drinking and stuff, and he was sitting there next to his girl. Now he was drunk. I could see that he was drunk. We was all drinking, but he was drunk. And
I was already on my way, work ass nigga.
She was talking to me, and I guess, I don't know, maybe he thought she was giving me a little too much game, but he must have been doing something underneath the table. Like during a picnic table, I couldn't see his hands, but he must have been like squeezing her thigh, like trying to, pinch her thigh and hurt her. I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but man, all of a sudden,
wow.
Kyle, you got to mute.
Shit out of short, man.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, you got to mute Kyle. That's crazy.
Yeah, and he took it right because he was drunk, like inebriated, like his eyes were half closed and he was kind of rocking back and forth. And she popped the fuck out of him, man. And then he sat there for a few more minutes and I could see she was getting aggravated. Bow. She gave him another one, and that second one, he got to stand an 8 count on that one. She fucked shit up on that one.
Right.
Well, on that note, we getting the hell out of here, man. We ain't no more gay conversations in the shop, man.
Yeah, y'all fucking vibe up tonight, man.
That shit was wild.
We getting out of here on time tonight. Damn, I'm joking, man. It was fun. I got a long day tomorrow. DJ, man, go Bird, big 4-0 for some reason. Hey, I swear I think of DJ every Sunday when the Eagles are playing. I'd be like, I ain't gonna lie. I'd be like, please, Jalen Hurts don't play well. Please don't play well.
Right.
I tell the truth, man. I'll be like, man, please play bad. He's the leading candidate for MVP in the MVP, so, man. But the second half of the season, they'll catch up to him and he'll get hurt. He'll start wearing down like most of these fast quarterbacks and shit, man, that don't know how to throw in the pocket consistently. Same thing gonna happen to the Buffalo Bills quarterback. He gonna be out this motherfucker too. It ain't a black thing. That motherfucker gonna be gone too. But what you got, Jerry? What you got?
What about Trevor Lawrence?
Forward to the Kambosos Haney fight, even though the first fight was one-sided. I'm interested to see if Kambosos can come with a better fight, and I'm equally interested to see if Devin Haney can put a stamp on it and do, maybe get Kambosos out of there.
Right,
I think that'd be big for his career if he could make a real statement there. I don't see why he has any reason to hesitate. He seems to be the bigger, stronger, faster. He's got all the advantages. And so I want to see from Haney. I want to see some go get him in this fight. And like I say, I think Kambosos can fight a better fight, but I'm definitely picking Haney like anybody else would. And I'm also looking forward to the Shields card. And the only thing I want to know is, somebody told me that's pay-per-view, but then I heard it's not.
Probably over there in the UK, but for us, it's ESPN Plus.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks, man.
Thank you for hanging out, man.
All right, brother.
All right, peace.
All right, panel.
All right, man.
All right, dog. What you got, champ?
Man, you know what? I was trying to beam in last night, man, for the episode. I thought I had sent you the plant-based pancakes, blueberry pancakes. I didn't send you that one?
I don't know. I got to look.
Okay, yeah. I thought because that's the one, because you actually played an old one.
Remember we didn't play that week.
Oh, that's right. We didn't pay that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I'll send it to you again if you don't have it. I'll send it to you again. But yeah, it would nice. It would be nice to see Haney knock Kambosos out. That would be nice. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. And I am excited to see, what Clarissa is going to do with this chick. Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see that. Now is she going back to MMA, or is she done with that? Do you know?
Remember she was supposed to. Remember that she had a deadline on her boxing match because she had to fight an MMA fight later in the year, so I don't know what the hell's going on. To be honest.
Oh, okay. Okay. Huh. All right. Well,
good question.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see how that goes. Okay. All right. Well, salutes, man, to my brothers, man. Y'all take it light. Troy, man. I don't know what to say about you, man. All right, man. yeah, be cool,
champ.
man. All right, now.
What's up, Birdman? What you got?
Shoot. Well, appreciate y'all for having me on, Fred, and everybody be safe. And we're still waiting on that Bud and Crawford. It ain't gonna be this year. I still watch it next year.
Right, it'll be next year for sure.
All right, y'all be safe.
Appreciate it, Troy. Real quick, man. What you got?
Yeah, man, I can't wait to for the Spence Crawford fight, and I hope Ebony get that network. I hope Fox extend that deal, because they really need that in boxing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, we listening. Go ahead.
But yeah, man, I just hope they get that done. The Spence said is next, but sometimes next means a couple of years. You don't never know. So, but anyway, man, I love y'all back there.
Appreciate
Bye,
you. Peace. Kyle, what's up, man? Oh, Kyle gone, man. But anyways, man, I told you appreciate.
Hold on, Cowboy. Can I take the microphone off mute?
Okay. Sorry.
Relax. No, man, we another great show, man. Thanks to Troy coming out the closet and shit. This turned from barbershop conversations to race conversations to gay conversations. So shout out to Fred for allowing everybody to use his platform, man. You should be proud.
All right, between time, man. I still don't think no man should be putting braids in his hair. I don't even think a man should put a toupee in his hair. You know what I mean? Like I just think it's maybe men, man. Like why are we want to be women? That's a female characteristic, man. To me, I'm just what I believe. I'm not putting no braids in my hair.
Your car.
Oh shit, the Lakers down by 115, 114. 9 seconds to go. That's the one bad thing about having YouTube TV is you don't get the Lakers network. So they got to put it on the app or something because I got to watch Warner, whatever it is, because I want to watch the Laker games and the Dodger games. But anyways, man, I appreciate y'all coming tonight. Man, I think both Crawford and Spence are clean fighters. What I believe. Peoples Hernandez is in the building. Appreciate it. I'm getting out of here at 9:30 on the Dizot. Yeah. Love it. Hey. The things you got to do. Hey. Like chameleons. I appreciate y'all coming through tonight, man. Thank you guys. Yeah, man. Good show. I didn't expect it to take a turn like this, but hey, what do you get? Get limit. It's IPTV. Can you DM that to me, Tino? DM it. Get LLMLTV. It's IPTV. Let me look at it. Because I definitely want. What's IPTV? It's my personal statement. Run the game like I'm aces. Learn to develop paces, determined to be the greatest. Yeah. Oh, sports and movies. So I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition. Back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition. I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. Or cancer slowing our road. I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. I'm looking at it now. Thank you. I got it. You ain't got to send it to me. Thank you. IPTV. Thank you. Yeah, because I want to watch the Lakers. I can watch the game while I do the shows, But yeah, man, we got us. Pujols ended his career with 703 home runs. That's pretty amazing. That motherfucker was a machine, dog. Sheesh. Machine. I'm telling you the truth, man. It's an app. Thank you, dog. Thank you for sending it to me. Love y'all, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man.